So Thursday, October 1st, 2015, this rant will be on Benghazi fizzles with GOP truthiness. Now I'm going to get into Hillary a lot on this, but Kevin McCarthy, the next Speaker of the House, possibly opened up to Sean Hannity and basically said what everyone that follows politics in any way, shape, or form knows, whether a Democrat or Republican, is that this whole Benghazi thing, the whole email thing, but he emphasized Benghazi, was put together strictly to take Hillary down, to innuendo, whatever, say stuff that might be true, could be true, but we don't have any evidence that it's true. But when we do have evidence, then we'll show you. But we've never had any evidence. But that doesn't mean there isn't any evidence, because we're going to find it, because we don't know about this, and this. So the whole Benghazi thing, and remember, I believe there have been 6 or 7 or 8 other congressional committees. The last one dumped its findings the day after Thanksgiving of last year, or the year before, the last year or something, basically saying it was a Republican committee. Nothing. There was nothing in Benghazi that implicated Hillary Clinton in any way, shape, or form. And the concept or the idea that the Republicans are trying to put forth, that a Secretary of State, a person who has been involved at the highest levels of government for the last 20 or so years, would not do anything and everything remotely possible to try and save the life of an ambassador whose life was in danger. It's just boggling to the mind. But that's what our friends on the Republican side are insinuating, smearing, what do you call, doing a hell of a lot of lead balloons or trial balloons to see how far they'll go. And this is what has been going on all along. As the Republicans take something, and let's just use Benghazi as an example. All right, a complete tragedy. Forget all of the details, but when it actually happened, there was nothing that could be done. The Republicans look at something. The lady, I can't remember her name offhand, who went before all the committee, all the talk shows a week later, had her talking points from the CIA, the Pentagon, the State Department, Valerie Jarrett, that's who it was. And the Republicans have basically used that ever since to indicate that Hillary Clinton didn't do everything possible to try to find out exactly what was going to happen, what was going on, and to try and do everything to prevent the death of those 4 people. So everything that the Republicans have done since then is a smear. They take something, they look at it as a possible angle, they look at the political implications that could be favorable to them, and then they start an incredible smear campaign with all of the furor that it is absolutely 100% absolutely true, and they will go to their grave believing it. And they probably really do believe that. Now, let's just say that Clinton, in her own right, is not always able to present herself up very well. I would say that is true to a limited extent, but let me just go in very quickly. You know, when we have a presidential election, we always like somebody new, don't we? Remember, Carter was new. That was 76. Kennedy was new. That was 60. Carter was governor of Georgia. That was 76. Reagan came on in 80, but remember, and Reagan had tried to get a little bit of traction in 68. He got nowhere. He tried to get a little traction in 76. Ford put him down. So he was still a relatively new figure on the national stage. 88, you had George Bush. People liked Reagan. They liked Bush. He continued. He didn't make any screw-ups. The Democrats didn't have anyone great. Bring in Bill Clinton, a new person on the stage. 8 years later, George W. Bush, a new person on the stage. 8 years later, Barack Obama, a new person on the stage. They had been around a little bit. They had a little bit of notoriety, but they were not well known to the American people. But you have Hillary Clinton since 92. That would be close to 24 years. We have known who she is. And the Republicans have tried to smear her and her husband ever in the beginning, because when they had no idea that he would be able to come up and take them out in 92. And they did their best, just like they did their best with Obama, to smear the heck out of him right from the beginning. Everything in Bill Clinton's administration was a smear campaign. Everything on Hillary, everything on Obama has been 100% smear campaign. And none of it, none of it is remotely close to being true. Now, has Obama given the Republicans a lot of troubles? Yes. Have they used everything they possibly can to go against him? Yes. Has he brought up things that they don't want? Of course, that's, but have they done everything? They have done everything, Also, one other thing about Hillary is that even though she is a fighter, her demeanor just does not portray that as much. I mean, look at Trump. He's a buffoon, but he acts like he's a fighter. What was it? Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's Trump. But let's get over to a couple things on Hillary. Number one, Hillary, I know, will bring out the black vote. That's not necessarily 100% assured from Bernie Sanders right now. That's not knocking Sanders. That's just saying that's the way it's going right now. We know that Hillary would be able to bring out the women vote. We don't know that particularly right now with Sanders. Now, the media... The mainstream media has been touting Bernie's numbers. He just did 26 million. I think Hillary did 28 million the last quarter. They've been touting his numbers. He's big. He's doing well in Iowa. He's doing well in New Hampshire. But then that whole southern shift, that's all focusing towards Hillary. And her national numbers are still very good. Her numbers are not good in Iowa. Her numbers are not good in New Hampshire. But her numbers everywhere else are very, very good. Now, when we have these head-to-head matchups, Hillary's beating everybody, and Bernie's beating everybody. In some cases, Bernie's beating him by even more. Now, I would say, if I was running Hillary's campaign, I would say emphatically, listen, babe. No, I shouldn't have said that, right? No, listen, Madame President. If you want to win and you want to take out Bernie, you take up his mantra. You take up free college tuition. You take up equal pay for equal work. You take up increase the minimum wage. You take up we're going to fund EPA to its fullest. You take up we're going to fund the Securities and Exchange Commission to its fullest. You take up we're going to fund education more. We're going to fund lunch programs, etc. We are going to do the things that are necessary to bring America up. And we're going to do everything we can to increase manufacturing. We are going to be the cleanest country in the frickin' world, all right? And she's got to go out there and she's got to show that type of fervor that needs to be done. Because when you want the presidency, you have to show that you really want it. That killed Edward Kennedy in 1980. We just saw Scott Walker drop out. He really didn't have a good thing he wanted to do to be president except for to kill the unions, because that was the only shtick he could run on. And the other ones that are doing bad, Cruz doesn't have a good shtick. He has a good shtick for himself and the 2% that'll follow him. Same with Rand Paul. Chris Christie doesn't necessarily have anything great to run on. Jeb just is there. His name Rubio doesn't necessarily have anything great to run on. But Rubio, he's one slick character. I'll give him that. But just to get back to Hillary, pick up Bernie's mantra, pick up everything that he's in favor of, show fervor, show determination, show anger, show whatever it takes. You have to put it out there and put it out there now.